Be happy to let you know via email follow-up if they're okay or not. Alright, so Sultai Control. So this is a deck that has leveraging Hydroid Krasis. It's got a similar... This is a similar shell to actually the last one we played, only it's got Krasis and Assassin's Trophy in it. And actually, it's going to kind of be interesting for perspective to play this immediately following that Esper one, because this build also kind of seeks to fix some of those problems blue-black mid-range has, but by adding Trophy and Krasis as opposed to Mortify and Teferi. So let's jump into some games and see how it goes. Well, happy to be here, Jim. Thanks for keeping me around. Ooh. The googly eyes had me distracted. I was like, where's the deck box I want? Krasis seems like it's going to run awkwardly alongside Doom Whisperer. Can you elaborate on that 11th end? Because I don't see why those cards would be awkward with each other. Like, in what way do you envision them not being reasonable together? I would probably argue the inverse, that Hydroid Krasis is going to buffer your health total back up, so that way you can afford to surveil more often. I think this hand is bad. I think I'm gonna mulligan this. And like this hand like needs to draw land, but also needs to draw spells. So it just like doesn't have a lot going on. And this hand's probably the best of the three we've looked at. So your awkward statement is based more in the fact that I would generally use the vernacular clunky to describe that. So basically you're hypothesizing that having both of those cards means there's too much top end in our deck list effectively. You're saying we have too many expensive cards, we're gonna get caught with too many expensive cards in our hand too often. This is a matchup where having access to Assassin's Trophy is meaningful, because like being able to kill Experimental Frenzy is a big deal. See, I don't really envision them doing quite the same thing though, so I don't know that that's really, I agree with that comparison. Like, Hydroid Krasis is actual card quantity, while Doom Whisperer is kind of card quality. And Doom Whisperer closes games faster. So, like, Hydroid Krasis gasses you up, while Doom Whisperer closes, while allowing you to draw better cards while doing so. Oh, I think I ditched this. I think I just need a green source at this point. I'm not sure what you mean by cards that rely on other cards. So I think you're referring to when I talk about... referring to when I talk about synergy cards? Because Direfleet Daredevil isn't a synergy card. Direfleet Daredevil's not a card that you play other cards in your deck to make better. Direfleet Daredevil's a card that's taking cards out of your opponent's deck and leveraging those. So, Direfleet Daredevil is more of a card that tends to be good in specific matchups. In this case, matchups where your opponents have lots of instants and sorceries that you're interested in recasting, or where a 2/1 first strike is good. Alright, well that was some unceremonious Magic the Gathering. Yeah, you have to right-click on them, Mr. Pug. I want to assume that's a bug and not an intended feature change. But you definitely can't mouse over their stuff anymore, which is awkward. The stuff that they have revealed, you have to right click on it. How many green sorcerer? That's a good question. There's only 6 green sources in this deck. Wait, what? Jeff didn't vet the mana base. We're going to fix the mana base after this league. There aren't even 8 blue-black dual lands in this deck. I apologize. We're playing Golden Demise over Cry because we play Blood Operative and don't want to exile our own operative. Yikes. Alright. The mana base in this deck is currently off. We probably want 10 green sources, and we definitely want all the blue-black duels. What's my rank at the end of the season? I don't know. Somewhere outside of top 1,000. Yeah, I agree. If this was the only green card, 8 would be the floor. Oh, these jellyfish are glued to our hand, chap. They just love us and love everything we are doing. There aren't any Moment of Cravings in this deck either, are there? The ladder was extremely volatile on the last day. I will not be attempting to be in the top 1,000 again. It felt like a waste of time and energy. Huh. I think I'm in for both of those, huh? So you get to cast down something this turn. I think, or do I just Hostage Taker? Nah, they have Wizard's Lightning, so we'll cast down Gitu. And then hopefully they play a Firebrand next turn, and the next turn I Hostage Taker a Firebrand, kill the other Firebrand. I really hope the addition of the Vivian card is them setting up to ban... I really hope they're going to ban Wilderness Reclamation. It was a combination of the two, Corrosion. So I was at a position in the ladder, and I was tracking my rank very closely, and the amount of rank I was losing per minute implied that I was not going to make it into the top 1,000. So I then attempted to try and win one game relatively close to the end, and it resulted in me losing several games right in a row that then put me in a position to be unable to pull it through. So, at one point with 3 or 4 hours left to go, I was losing, over the course of, like, 20 minutes, I was losing, like, 4 to 5 ranks a minute. Which, even if that rate slowed down, being the 600-ish that I was, wouldn't have been enough. So then, I decided to play, because it seemed necessary, mathematically. We're at a virtual 4 here, which kind of sucks. I only have one blue source. Oh, I'm dumb. I only have one blue source. Yikes. I thought when I kept both of these guys, I'm conceding and fixing the mana. Let's fix the mana in this deck really quick. Alright, so if you want a rough article on what your mana bases should look like, I would encourage everyone to bookmark this article from Frank Karsten. Should be one to have in your back pocket when you're building deck lists. If you're not super familiar with building mana bases. Because this deck's more controlling, I'm going to favor the Buddy lands here rather than the Shock land, so I can hopefully take a little bit less damage. I'm sure that was the original intention, was like, the creator didn't want to take a bunch of damage from their mana, but you need to be able to cast your spells. Chat is difficult. It's on mythicspoiler.com, Geoff. Mythic Spoiler is the one that's like most up to date. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Perfect. Look at that. I have all my colors. Snap it off. Erasure into Disinformation Campaign. Let's do it. Whoa, opponent's got fancy sleeves. Whoa, I didn't realize you could do that. Oh, I'm gonna spend way too much time doing this. Alright, sorry, Magic. Breeding Pool, go. Thank goodness our opponent has chosen to register Zerta Goblin. Now that I've said that, I'm sure we're about to get dumpstered, but, you know, details. Dubs Rekindling Phoenix. Simic is a Stoner Guild confirmed. Alright, I think I just take both birds and then hope to rip some removal spells in here. They're going to hit me to 17. Chain Whirler's going to put me to 16. They're going to attack me to 10 the following turn. Everything about Paper Magic is just so much more disappointing after playing Arena. It's just like I cast a Ravager Worm for the first time in Paper, and I was like, that didn't jump out of the table. Alright, that was one of the draws we were digging for here. So, God bless. We've already dealt with 2 Phoenixes, so that's nice. Hopefully we draw an untapped land next turn and get to Hydroid Krasis for 3 to trade with the Zerta Goblin. Bye, Felicia. So we take 1 here effectively, dropping to 9. If I don't draw a land, I might just cycle Krasis as a gain 1. I think it's worth chalking this in to try and trade with the Goblin. This is game 1 though, so your deck has like Lightning Strikes and Collision Colossuses and all sorts of other scary things that like blow out me making a 3/3. So, I'd really like to draw an untapped land that doesn't hurt me next turn, so that way this Hydroid Krasis can be a 4/4 to threaten to eat the Zerta Goblin. Well, that was the best draw in their deck, and that was the best draw in my deck, you know? I'm gonna be greedy. I'm gonna be greedy here and try and dig for a land. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that Ritual of Soot. I want to do this now, because I don't want them to be able to Lightning Strike the Rekindling Phoenix in response to my Contempt. Draw a land, please. Yeah, if they hit, like, Growth Chamber Guardian here, I'm gonna really wish I kept the Ritual of Soot. Okay. Alright. Draw another Pelt Collector. Yeah! Excellent. Just like we drew it up, chat. Just like we drew it up. Pre-recorded stream confirmed, right? Listen, the key is if you always call your shots, eventually you hit on some of them. Have some Pelt Collector triggers, friendo. Little bit sad that this happened. I guess it doesn't even actually matter, right? It's actually just like Thought Erasure you, punch you in the face, leave that there. Heard you were from Blue Island a ways back. Well, not there anymore. I'm from Mount Greenwood. So hope a fellow Southsider had a good day. Modi, and thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Yeah, I rented, I actually grew up in the Alsip area, which is right there too. And I lived in Blue Island for a little bit during undergrad. I should have played Campaign over Erasure there. You are 3,000% correct. It was the same amount of mana and did the same thing, and it drew me a card. I believe this is what the kids refer to as stabilizing. I'm so glad we have this sleeve back on Arena now. I really like this card back. It looks way more slick than the OG Magic card back, in my opinion. Extra Hostage Taker sounds wonderful. Canopy seems okay. I think I'm gonna cut Doom Boy in this matchup just because he just like eats a removal spell and dies. Whoa! I didn't realize they glowed when you moused over them. Is that... How did I not notice that? Do they make a different noise based on what color they are? Is Demise good here? I don't think Demise is good enough here. I think too many other things get outside of range of 2/2 pretty quickly. Focus, just listen. Listen, okay? Somebody's like shaking a pair of keys in my face here, and I'm just like, ooh, shiny. Turn 2 Thought Erasure. Let's go. What does Blood Operative do here? It feels like it dies easily and it's too expensive against aggro decks to bring it back. So, Blood Operative's interesting. The important thing to remember about Blood Operative is that it kind of replaces itself in terms of health total. So, like, Blood Operative, if it gets in one hit, it buys back the returning itself, basically. WAP, thanks for the 2 months. And Leak Eater, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Hope you folks are having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at. So in a way, Blood Artist is like, or Blood Operative's like self-sustaining. So if I don't kill this, it starts finding Squadron Crab friends. If I do kill it, they can, like, Phoenix me this turn. I think I'm supposed to kill it because I just don't have the tools to beat a Squadron of crabs at the moment. I have to, like, hope they don't have a good 4-drop, though. Here is the issue. They're going to, like, play a Phoenix, and I'm going to be incredibly sad. Domery's also not great for me. It is. That is punk Domery face. Is this the best Blood Operative deck? I would make no such statement. I have no idea if this card's even very good in the format right now. Do we concede? Do we concede? They actually didn't have a land and we just like gave them the 4th land. I think we're done here. Yeah, this deck, for those that are newer, is a viewer-submitted deck list. We're trying to kind of kick the tires on something that someone sent in here. See if there's any reasonable ideas lurking in the corners. It's kind of strange to me, from a card evaluation perspective, that Blood Operative's kind of gotten outclassed by other tools, like its positioning in the format, because usually speaking, cards with as much text on them as Blood Operative tend to be pretty reasonable. So I think this hand's okay. If they get Squadron Crab going, I've got Ritual of Soot to get it covered. I'm missing a black source, but Discovery hopefully helps me dig to that. And my opponent, thankfully, is playing Magic the Gathering over here, so they've cleverly mulliganed to 4. Oh, I can mouse over the cards in their hand? Oh, my life is so much better right now. That's just fantastic. Good attention to detail. There are so many little things like that Arena has just done so incredibly well. Does it feel bad that Standard got reduced to basically 3 decks over the weekend? Well, the really important thing you need to understand is that best of 1 and best of 3 with sideboards, and in this case, duo Standard, these are fundamentally different formats. I get it that they're all playing with the standard legal card pool, but they're different. And in fact, they even have different ban lists to kind of signify that to a degree. Alright, what am I doing here? I think it's just Thought Erasure into Discovery. And I think I want to sequence the Erasure first, so that way I can know what I'm looking for. Alright, so we're just going to take the Domery since I have Contempt to cover the bird. Huh. Blood Operative is actually pretty good against Phoenix, too, isn't it? Because you can, like, shoot it with something that's not an exile effect and then, like, untap and operative it. That's interesting. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. This is the part of the game where, like, we're kind of doing stuff, but we're not really getting anywhere. Maybe I'm supposed to take the Lightning Strike there just because... Maybe I'm supposed to take the Lightning Strike there just because it kills Hostage Taker eventually, and I have the Contempt to check the Lightning Strike. Or I have the Contempt to check the Phoenix, I mean. Be interesting to see if they use the Lightning Strike here or attack with the Harpooner and use the Colossus to punch through. Yep. Frankie Peanuts. Let's fix that mistake. to Ritual of Soot this. Because, like, if I get the Hostage Taker going, I'm, like, less inclined to want to Ritual of Soot in the future because then I have a creature. Maybe I should just hold the Hostage Taker. I don't know. This trades with my Blood Operative, which is kind of annoying. And I've got, like, 2 more removal spells in my hand here, which seems fine. Like, let's just, like, get my power into play and close this game out before they have a chance to, like, draw a bunch of gas in a row. Just run this one down across the finish line at this point. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Well, get our mana fixing going on. Whole lot of fixing going on. Do 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 do. This hand needs a 3rd land, but it's like 5/7 beautiful, so I really can't pass it up. Hopefully, the Surveils off of Thought Erasure will help us. Whoa, that locked up. Karina was like, calm down, Jeff. I can't handle this. Today was great. I forgot how late it is. See you tomorrow. Catch you tomorrow, Top Toe. Have a good night. I am running extra late today. Well, my deck doesn't play the card Mortify, so we're gonna take their Search for Azcanta here. What do you think is the best main deck Thief of Sanity deck? I still really like Blue-Black Pirates. I think that deck's sweet. We played Esper Pirates a little bit, too. Blue-Black or Esper Pirates. Could she get a shout-out? Of course, Frosty. Tell me to whom I should direct it. Yeah, the build of Esper midrange we played today felt kind of mediocre. It was definitely one of the shorter ones today. Yeah, all the pages on my website are my preferred list for those archetypes. So unlike a site like MTG Goldfish, for example, where those pages only get posted and then forgotten about a lot of the time, they're like tournament results. All of the pages on my website are kind of living results. As they need updates, I make updates. Cam Bam, thanks for the 11 months. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Scale of 1 to dead. Where's this Blood Operative at? We see a little bit of that virtual card advantage we like to talk about a lot with Esper Control rearing its head here. I've drawn this cast down, so even though I have 1 card and they have 3 cards, one of the cards in my hand doesn't have text. Really hoping to draw like Disinformation Campaign here to kind of get some. We need to generate some 2-for-1s in our favor, basically. And Disinformation Campaign, even if it got mortified, it would still be a 3-for-1 there. It would draw us a card and take 2 cards from them. Hitting these lands in a row isn't the Stone Cold Bratwurst, because it means if we draw Hydroid Krasis, it will now draw at least 2 cards. So X4 is kind of the sweet spot for those baby Krasis or the beginning Krasis, so they really start drawing things. Animated Teferi, what a monster. Hoping the builder I sent you goes a little bit better. I trust you to make good card choices. Sounds good.
Hold that thought.
I'm going to take one more draw to Contempt here and then concede. Alright. You know, I don't even need to do this during their upkeep. Good they have a counterspell I'm conceding. I guess they could have a Chemister's Insight here, and they might Chemister's Insight at end of turn. Loud teacher, man. That is an accurate descriptor. Alright, absorb me, baby. Alright, let's get these clunky removal spells out of our deck and get some more meaningful cards in here. I want to trim here. Almost feels like I have too many cards for this matchup. Everything I'm looking at in front of me here seems like a reasonable card to have be in my deck at the moment. Maybe I just trim a couple of Blood Operative because like they're okay but not amazing. Probably don't want to clump up on multiples of them every game, but like drawing one or two to keep recurring as incidental surveil value seems fine. Yeah, let's do that. Thanks for the 15 months, Doug. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a good one. You don't make your hand better against Thought Erasure decks by mulliganing, so if your hand has lands and spells, I'd recommend keeping. Perfect. So I kind of have to ask myself, how long do I envision this game going? Bits for how salty my wife gets when I'm watching Jeff. Thanks for the biddies, Frankie. If I think I can run this down early, there is an appeal to taking the Thought Erasure and try and just get in on them with the Thieves. I think I want to do that. I think my hope here is play this next turn. They miss on removal in 3 draws. And then, yeah, hopefully we hit their counters with Thief of Sanity and just get to kind of turtle up under their spells. In these kind of control mid-range matchup, Thief of Sanity is pretty similar to Phage the Untouchable in that he deals combat damage to the opponent and then they lose the game a lot of the time. Nice Duress. This hand being Duress proof is also another big reason to keep it. 1 Duress, please. Huh? What are the odds this is Kaya's Wrath? What are the odds this is Kaya's Wrath? Do I take the Erasure or do I take their Teferi? God, I kind of want to take the Teferi. Alright. Don't Kaya's Wrath me, bro. Yeah, like, something's gotta come out for those Duresses and stuff, right? So we're just hoping to dodge, like, Cry and Kaya's Wrath here to be in a good spot. Deal. Hoping to draw, like, a Negate or something like that here. Looking for a 2-mana counterspell so we can play Teferi and still hold that up. Well, you know, magic. We can still draw a Negate or a Stroke off of our deck here.
This isn't a fight. Hurry!
I think I keep Thief and not Teferi when they play this Eldest Reborn. What do we think? Like this is basically impulse every turn, and this is Teferi's just a draw one. This is easier for them to remove. Here's for a Jund deck that I'll submit today. Thanks for the biddy, Steve. Alright. Things are not looking good for our hero, chat. -3 in search threads can't be a consideration there. Maybe, so I was attempting to find a way to keep this from happening, basically. That was my goal, was to stop the Eldest Reborn from happening. And obviously I failed at that goal. Chemist's Insight goes to their graveyard when I cast it, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Alright, so they have a Teferi coming into play this turn. So I think I'm just supposed to Hydroid Krasis, so I have 2 threats out. I will, in fact, be streaming Giddle. Yeah, but I wanted to be greedy, Aaron. That's why I talked about how greedy I wanted to be. Like, I wanted to get the Teferi and still, like, have it as well. Well, I drew the Erasure with the Teferi, Aaron, so that wasn't an option. Well, that's not my Teferi, that's their Teferi. It came out of their deck. There's no white mana on my side of the board, JMP. And, like, the fact that this Krasis is a 5/5 means even when Teferi Plus is here, he still eats it to Thief of Sanity, which is great. Oh, we can Dispersal and... Wow, that's... Okay. Okay, that's aggressive. Yeah, that's aggressive. And actually, I don't even have to Thought Erasure it. I can Disinformation Campaign it. It's their last card, because these are in their graveyard. All right, we have a game, chat. We have a game. Let's do it. And do it, and do it, and do it again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I just play this for 6 and then Duress their Teferi here. Marnino, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Daddy Krasis, he's much bigger than 2-2. It is an ugly Duress, isn't it? Curses! Curse the ugly Duress! Yeah, we powered through a lot of Teferis. When you're hitting with Thief of Sanity, you can punch through a lot of card advantage. Thief is real good at generating cards. This hand's not amazing, but again, it's just like functional. Today's actually been great, Marion. It's kind of flown by. I like looked up at one point and it was like almost 2 o'clock and I was just like, oh, well then. Take the card that kills us. Figuratively speaking. want either of those, actually. I kind of want land 6 at some point, but there's a lot of draw steps between now and when we need that. And if they cast this down, Discovery picks it back up, which is sweet. Sure. Well, those are A+ phenomenal. Oh, you know what? I should have put these in the other order because I would rather this get discard spelled than this get discard spelled. So small mis-sequencing here on my part. I'm gonna lead on Blood Operative here because I'd much rather this one eat it than something else. Absorb, it gives me a window to Assassin's Trophy this Search for Azcanta. No, they had Negate up, so I wanted to try and get a window like this where they couldn't do that. Deal. My hand's great. How does it make you feel, opponent? Alright, untapped land, please. Untapped land, please. Did they only have one up? Maybe I'm misremembering. You might be correct. I don't firmly remember the situation. The 4/4 Krasis, Mama Krasis as we like to call her, is peak Krasis performance. Rude. At least there's only 4 cards in their bin. So if like 4/4 Krasis is mom, 2/2 Krasis is baby, and 6/6 is dad, what does that make the 5/5 Krasis? Is this like Uncle Krasis? Krasis is your uncle? Grandpa Krasis?
You know what? I'm not done yet.
Rax Wraith, thank you for the 2-month reset. Welcome back. You know what? So, my kids don't have any aunts. They only have uncles. And my mother-in-law was visiting, and Declan concluded that everybody who is family is uncle and then their name. So like he started calling my mother-in-law Uncle Grand. It was hilarious. Kids are great. So I'm going to Thought Erasure here to get the Negate out of their hand. And then we'll play Thief of Sanity and hold up Negate of our own. Based on the world that he's working in, it was a very logical conclusion. All family is Uncle X, and then she's Grand, so Uncle Grand is obviously the conclusion. Look at that. That's why it costs so much extra to make it pretty, chat, because they concede when you cast it. It all makes sense now. Could have Krasis to set up lethal. Nah, I wanted to hold up Negate. I wanted to get through their Negate and hold up a Negate of my own, because I think the only way we lose from there is like Sweeper plus Negate from them. Pay to win confirmed. It feels so bad mulliganing a hand with 5 beautiful cards in it, but here we are. Do not need a third one of those. Do I want this one? I probably want this one, right? Nah. Let's dig deep. So they're stumbling right now, but again, they're currently accruing what I would refer to as virtual card advantage, just by merit of like us drawing cards like Ritual of Soot game 1 that are really bad for us. Just boarding exactly like we did against the Esper Control player before this one. Cutting all these removal spells that are kind of awkward here that don't do anything. And then a couple of Blood Operatives to bring in a bunch of discard spells and counter spells. Just found Stream Staple and Grath's Anger. Is that the 2-mana Edict? The red-black Edict? Seems pretty good. Shug, thank you for the tier 2 and for the 3-month resub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Let's get rid of both of these and draw one of them. This is one of the sweet things about Blood Operative. It makes like Discovery like a 2-mana pay 3 draw 2, which is kind of neat. Alright, my plan of drawing spells at some point with this hand is currently not panning out. So hopefully they're lacking a removal spell here and Thief of Sanity is going to take the game and run it down to the end zone. Read. Alright, that's not a terrible one to hit here, especially after they just burned to Mortify. Negate. Wow, their hand must be terrifying. And, that's a pretty good one. So, this sequencing feels a little bit awkward because, like, I've got Disinformation Campaign, and if I lead on this, I get to pick both of them back up when this resolves. But I don't think the first spell I cast is going to resolve. And this way I keep both my campaigns. Maybe I'm supposed to do this in the other order. Maybe I am supposed to do this in the other order. Maybe I'd rather they counter this than the Thought Erasure. Because I guess the flip side is I get to pick the card out of their hand, but I also get to keep... I have one less Disinformation Campaign, but I get to pick the card they keep in their hand, but then I pick this one up. Yeah, I think I actually did that backwards. Like, now they Teferi me. Yeah, I think that was a mistake on my part.
Sorry I'm late.
I was like, I misprioritized there what I actually cared about. I was like, well, I kind of really want this Disinformation Campaign to resolve, but actually looking back on it, I didn't. I would rather the Thought Erasure resolve at that point in the game. Alright, I have Contempt, plus I have a Negate to back it up. So maybe we have a shot here, but I'm definitely going to have to work harder than I otherwise would have if I would have sequenced correctly there a second ago. Yeah, I think it is a tough choice, but I think the fact that we're going into my opponent's 5th turn against their Teferi deck means that I want the Erasure to resolve more than the Campaign, because the Campaign just gives me raw card count, whereas the Erasure takes a specific card, and like, Teferi undoes raw card count, right? As we sit here and get brutalized. Wait, what? Do they have another Teferi? They must have another Teferi, right? They must have another Teferi. Well, let's do this to start. Alright, and so I'm doing the Contempt on my turn now, because now, when they don't have a counter spell that I have to negate, I get to play the Blood Operative out here. Well, no, they know about my negate. So they know their Teferi's going away there, so they must have a second one, maybe? If they don't have a second one, I think I might have enough power to punch through here. This next Krasis is going to be a 6/6, which will likely draw us a way to surveil these. God bless America, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Boom, 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 boom. That was an excellent draw. Do 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 do. Easy game, easy life. I would like to negate your negate, please. What's left on the docket for today? We're playing this deck for another, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes or so, and then we are going to, I would love to leave that there because it lets these triggers again. And then we are going to wrap up the day with some Teamer Climb. Campaign's a really impressive Magic card in these matchups. It just slogs through the cards. Non-sub chat is a wasteland, maybe 5 posts a day. Yeah, the everyone room isn't well advertised, and I don't check it, so I don't advertise it. Johnny Boy, thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I should probably just get rid of it. People who want to get to me can get to me in other places. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna kill it. I don't want to be responsible for rancid stuff happening there. That's the dark place. We don't go there, Simba. Again, hands with lands and spells, pretty much a keep in the face punching mirrors. They have Hostage Taker in post board, okay? Don't put down Old Yeller. So stream channels have multiple chat rooms, and I previously had a room created for non-subs to post in that was just called Everyone. Trophy sounds excellent. Answers both Hostage Taker and Teferi, which is great. Maybe I'm supposed to just Discovery again here. That could be very, very possible. I'm just supposed to Discovery again here. Well, I guess if they play Teferi, I want to kill it before they untap their lands. And them tucking this Blood Operative isn't even really meaningful. Oh, this is a mistake. If they have a Duress here, I'm about to get super punished. So, like, I draw the card for the turn, and then this Discovery is going to bin the Blood Operative for me. And actually, I should Erasure them first. No, I'm going to do that last. Let's Discovery first, because I know I want to get through this other one. I would love an Assassin's Trophy. So cast 2-mana Divination. Alright, well, neither of us have a lot going on. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I'm supposed to just Blood Operative the Chemist's Insight there. So if I would have not erasured that turn, I could have Discovered into the Operative. I could have taken their Chemist's Insight away, which then they could Hostage Taker the Blood Operative, so maybe that's not worthwhile overall. That's definitely something to consider. So we're at the point in the game where we would really like to draw a Hydroid Krasis, notably taking the Teferi there in the event they have an Eldest Reborn in their deck. Show me your basics. Rats. They bend and absorb. Wow. They have Teferi and they bend absorb. Does this mean they don't have an answer to the Blood Operative? It probably means they don't currently have a way to kill Blood Operative, right?
I won't let you win.
Yeah, Krasis. Krasis is our catch-up card. Our ace in the hole, if you would. We had Teferi covered, but they had the Thought Erasure, so... Got him. Alright, need a hit like this turn. I guess this is kind of a hit. Unless they have a counterspell like they do. I think I'm going to take one more draw, since we just got a counterspell out of their hand that way. If we hit like another Trophy or a Contempt, maybe we can stay in this. But it's definitely slipping away very quickly. Yeah. Krasis, please. Krasis, please. Demon, that's all, folks. Nice stock prop. Oh, that was the freebie, because we just rolled up. Every time you hit like Plat 3 or Plat 2, you get a free loss, which is sweet. That was our free one. Let's do it, and do it, and do it, and do it again. Yeah, a ton of the Planeswalkers seem sweet. New Teferi's great. New Vivian is awesome. Because those cards don't have enough playable Planeswalkers, apparently. I assume they mean 4-mana Vraska, Gittle. New Tef lets you draw step Thought Erasure. You're a monster. They're past the expiration date. I found these Planeswalkers in the back of the fridge. I like opened the carton and I sniffed it a little bit and I'm pretty sure they're okay, but you want to check for yourself. God, a third Esper match in a row. Like, I know I said I wanted to play all the decks on the ladder, but I honestly might go back to playing in the events a little bit. Like, there's just so much less Esper and Wilderness Reclamation in the events. It's very pleasant. Teacup, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Just such a slog. Alright, so they missed a land drop, so I'm going to go ahead and play Blood Operative here before I Thought Erasure, on the off chance they, like, have a removal spell for this, then they kill it, and then Erasure picks it back up next turn. Welcome back, Cousin Vin. Yikes. Alright, so we got Mama Krasis next turn as a 4/4. Gray Guy, thank you for the 2 months. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Welcome back. Trigger. This is gonna die, but it drew 2 cards before it died, so like mission accomplished. All of my opponents, Assassin's Trophy is very good in this matchup because all of the permanents that my opponent can have could like allow them to pull ahead here. Assassin's Trophy has covered. Our opponent must be out of basics. I think a lot of times they have an island in their deck too. We might actually have a shot at winning this game 1 just by virtue of how few removal spells we've drawn so far. Like, we've been really fortunate. We've only drawn this 1 Ritual of Soot, and we haven't been drawing, like, cast downs and stuff like that. Surveilling past them feels exceptionally good, in fact. Don't mind me. Just looking for some cards. Good golly. Alright, through half our deck, 31 cards left. We have 6 cards in our hand, and 3 of them are relevant, which feels good. I assume we're going to lose an Assassin's Trophy here. Vraska's Contempt, really? That seems strange. I guess they both kill Teferi. A trophy gives them a land, but like Trophy's so much more mana efficient. So this deck of a Search for his Cantor 2 in it. I don't know. I feel like I'd probably rather have like Treasure Map in this deck. This deck doesn't have a lot of spell-based win conditions in it. Our Disinformation campaigns in a way are kind of in our... Disinformation Campaign is kind of in, like, that Search for Azcanta style slot. It's like a cheap enchantment that generates card advantage for us. That doesn't impact the board. I chose to just let Kaya do her thing here, which may or may not be punishing. There's only 5 cards in my exile at the moment. It was day 9, yep. Hey, Yef, thanks for sharing. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So if they kill this, we'll trophy her. If they don't kill this, it pressures her. It also just, like, gains me life, which makes her ultimate less meaningful. Man, where are my Hydroid Krasis at? I guess we played 1 earlier, right? It's gonna take 3 shots to kill her. Well, I guess if they're just exiling this, I don't really care, right? That's card 8 over there. Yeah, ate me, I guess. Am I starting to care? I'm like trying to feel about how I care here. Maybe I'm starting to care. Discard your absorb, I guess. All right, we're at top deck mode. They have one of each basic in play here. Wow, they have a fourth basic. Okay. Krasis, please. Oh, I guess at least they haven't drawn a Teferi, huh? Like, we're through half our deck with only one Krasis. They have yet to see a Teferi. That is a fantastic draw. That is a less than fantastic draw. I'm going to keep playing my lands out here. Because if I draw Krasis, I want as many as possible in play. Had to open my mouth and fit my foot in here.
I'm known. We need to move quickly.
Think there's room for something other than my foot in my mouth at the moment. How many lands do I have? 4, 8, 11. This is 12. So Krasis is going to be for 10 and draw 5 cards. Joke's on you, opponent. I drew all my poopy cards. And, like, we talked earlier about how it looked like we might get this game won because we didn't draw too many of those cards. And then, like, the game went longer and we drew some more of them, right? So, like, imagine this is a post-board game where, like, this Ritual of Soot and that cast down that they took with that Thought Erasure have been meaningful cards that impact the game. Like, we likely win that game, right, if it's a post-board game. But because it was game 1, our opponent was able to pull out of head because of the virtual card advantage their deck gains by just blanking so many of our cards. One of the biggest strengths to the Esper deck is that virtual card advantage that it accrues. Always room for the other foot. Just gobble them up. Get in my mouth. Maybe Crushing Canopy's okay. Maybe. What do I trim? I think I like some blood. I think I like some Blood Operative still, so I'm not quite sure what else I would want to cut. Dovin's whole monocle system here is freaking me out a little bit. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. Giving me the stink eye. I feel like my takeaway from this deck and the one before it today are really that Doom Whisperer does not seem like a good Magic the Gathering card. It has not been a card that I've been impressed with so far today. What do you think of Amass? I think stapling the ability to randomly make creatures onto different effects is probably great. That one. Oh, come on. Dang it, Magic Arena. I thought it was going to ask me to... I wanted to look through their deck. I thought it was going to ask me to confirm I was done looking. That's really annoying. Yeah, for reference, for people that know my feelings on Unmoored Ego in Standard, that was my opponent's Unmoored Ego. I hit them with Thief and then cast their spell. That's how this works.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair. Alright, let's run them out of win cons here, shall we? Vulcan, thank you for the 2-month resub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. So I need a blue source so I can Thief plus hold up Negate. There could be merit to casting Blood Operative before the Thief of Sanity here, so that way the Eldest Reborn exiles a card that I don't care about. You know, once I trophy this, we might be getting into the realm of them not having win conditions left in their deck. Hey, what's going on, Hammy? Good evening. Happy Monday. Oh, and this gets to grab the chemisters out of their bin here, too. I've never used the Unmoored Ego interface successfully on Magic Arena, so I didn't realize it was going to close their deck search when I clicked on their 4th Teferi. Why do you feel that Unmoored Ego is a bad card? Because unless your opponent's deck is both constructed improperly or sideboarded improperly, Unmoored, generally speaking, all of the control and combo decks in this format, that's where Unmoored Ego looks appealing, have enough alternative win conditions in them to play through Unmoored Ego, and Unmoored Ego is always card disadvantage. Even in a game like that one where we just played, where I got to take a Teferi out of my opponent's hand, they drew another card to replace it. So even though I spent a card, they still replaced it with another card. So while they're not going to have their best card necessarily, their deck should be built in a way that they can still win the game, and you didn't 1-for-1 them. You spent a card to, like, disrupt them a little and not take another card from them. And don't get me wrong, you're going to catch plenty of people who their decks are misbuilt or mis-sideboarded with Unmoored Ego, but I think playing against a good player on average, Unmoored Ego is not ideal. Naming Teferi's like gaining card advantage since he's so strong. Maybe. I mean, like, imagine, for instance, if instead of having Unmoored Ego in your deck where you took Teferi, you instead just had another counter spell or a discard spell, and now you stopped their Teferi and stopped their card advantage, but you did it in a manner that was a 1-for-1. Does that make sense? Alright, we're on the Protect the Queen plan, chat. That can stay there. Backup Queen can stay there. So, if you listen to the words that I said, I was talking about as a sideboard card in best of 3. So people in chat are referring to how Ego is good in best of 1 matches, like we're kind of being played in the duo standard format. That is literally a different format of Magic. And the reasons why I'm explaining Unmoored Ego isn't good in this best of 3 with sideboards don't apply to best of 1. So I agree. Unmoored Ego sounds great as a card that you can have access to in some matches in best of 1. So context is everything in terms of power level, how effective various cards are. The context is key to understanding why things are good or bad. Why does the ladder hate us, chat? Why? Why does the ladder hate us? I mean, we're like 2-1 against Esper Control with this deck, but it's just like pulling teeth, chat. It's just like pulling teeth. Do you feel like cards like Surgical and Lost Legacy are also bad? And if so, why not? I think in Standard, those cards were likely very bad. I actually don't remember the Standard format Surgical was in. I think there was some Unburial Rite shenanigans in that format. It depends. Again, it's all contextual. Like, that's the thing you really... And as we're coming into spoiler season, this is a really key thing I would love to drill into all the new players' heads that are looking at spoiler cards. The reason why spoilers are so hard to evaluate is just because a card is good right now in the Standard format that we're playing today doesn't mean that card's going to be good after War of the Spark releases in the format with the decks that are playable in that format. Just because today they're good doesn't mean once new cards get released they're still good. That's the big thing people miss. There's so many moving pieces. Do I have an Esper list on my website? I do not. Carnage Tyrant's a great example. Do y'all remember the articles about Carnage Tyrant being unfair? I think Shaheen Sarani wrote more than one, just complaining about Carnage Tyrant, and I like the card just barely sees play. How many Super Friends decks are in the queue? I've not had any submissions for cards with the new set yet, Nivik. Yeah, Kaya's a great example too. Kaya looked really bad. And like, the format's changed, and like, the way she lines up into things is completely different. Yeah, Shahid's a control player. Alright, they took one of my trophies. The even one. Thank you for the 3-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. If the new 4-mana Jace is good, it's not because he mills. If the new 4-mana Jace is good, it's because he's a 4-mana card that lets you draw a second card each turn. That's what you want to ask yourself with that card for the is this good question. I think we're just done here. I guess I could find a bunch of Blood Operatives here, but like, I'm not even at the point where I can Krasis for 4 yet, and if I can't Krasis for 4, I don't really have a meaningful way in this deck to kind of claw back into the game. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the post-board game. Again, just like, I have 2 cards in my hand and my opponent's 4 cards here, but my cards don't have text. Which, these games here, where we're playing against the opponent's Esper control deck, is such a fantastic example of why these mid-range style decks like I'm playing here aren't playable in non-sideboarded formats, because these mid-range decks, when they can't pull out their bad cards in the specific matchups and slot in ones that have impact, they're just kind of unplayable. Like, they just almost never beat these control decks without getting exceptionally lucky by just, like, not hitting their cards that don't have text. Am I taking preemptive build-around suggestions? I want a 6-mana Tez deck. I don't know that 6-mana Tez is playable. I am taking preemptive build-around submissions Feel free to submit them using the forum for which cards you like to see it build around, then I'll let you know. Need to familiarize myself with the text box and things. I keep seeing people freak out about, like, 6 mana cards. It's just like, do you understand there's basic mountains in this format still? Like, mono red's not about to rotate. In fact, mono red's about to get to Bolt, which says opponents can't gain life. So, it's like, skillfully drawing the untapped land here. This is not EDH. You are not starting at 40. This is an apt observation, not EDH. Curious they didn't shock in that land. I think this is a pretty big mistake on my opponent's part. If they would have shocked in this land, I wouldn't have been able to play Blood Operative because they would have been able to cast down and then untap Kaya Exile. But because they didn't shock it in, I'm able to stick my threat here. Nah, I think most reasonable people expected Tybalt to be somewhat playable. He was real bad last time, and people have really wanted a playable card for him for a while. Maybe I'm supposed to hold on to this discovery till after they kill my thing. Yeah, any particular Friends deck, Nivik, like colors or something like that, let me know. Well, I'm still holding up Negate for Kaya. I'm not playing the second one out, that's for sure. Need to counter her so that way the Blood Operative can pop back up. Otherwise, she'll exile him. Here's my 5th land. Perfect. Go to 20. Go to 18. And again, focusing on exiling my opponent's Planeswalkers. That way, if they have an Eldest Reborn in their deck still, it has less things to get back. I'm gonna wait on playing this Doom Whisperer, because I think there's a chance they cast down this Blood Operative. I am gonna have like 800 different decks with 3 mana Vivian in it. I like instant speed cards. Yeah, I'm gonna Discovery again. Rather than Doom Whisperer, because again, I think there's a chance that I get them to run their removal out on this Blood Operative. Sounds good, Steve. You probably won't get an email back until 9 or maybe even 10 o'clock tonight, because I'm planning to do one more deck after this one, and then I have to take a couple hours to, like, eat dinner and do my post-stream wrap. Stingray Kits, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I'm going to do this for 5. Yeah, I agree. Slowing down as Cancer with Blood Operative triggers is a wonderful upside. Yep. I need to see exactly how the timing's gonna work out, but we're probably getting close-ish to a point where I'm going to stop accepting decks for this current standard format. This is a sweet line, so I get to, like, draw this. And now, obviously, I don't have the mana to Disdainful Stroke up here, but this keeps their Search for his Canta for flipping again here, which is awesome. Just, like, puts them down to 5 cards again. Perfect, Nivik, will do.
Keep up the pace.
Duress, sure. Yeah, if we can dodge Kaya's Wrath here, we can dodge a ball. That's for sure. They're at 9. What are the odds they don't have a removal spell? Apparently high. Apparently high. That game showing some of the power of Blood Operative in the grindy matchup. A couple people were talking about they weren't sure if this card was good or not there. I think that game really showed some of the flexibility that it had. And Oath of Teferi. Is that infinite? That's infinite, right? Because he goes up to 5 and then goes down. Is that 3-card infinite Nyx? That's funny. Oh god. We're gonna play that deck a lot, aren't we? Yeah, we are. I've met you people. We're gonna play that deck a lot. It's 3-card, infinite Bolas's, exile your hand and board. Yep. And, like, the sweet thing about it is like, Pirate Jace and Nick are, like, close to playable on their own. Close. Nick's great. Pirate Jace is, like, close to playable. Yeah, build around submissions for the new format are open. This, unfortunately, doesn't bring these into play untapped, so I think I want to just do this so I can guarantee Thief on 3. Yikes. This game might be over before it starts. Woof. Yep, I think we're about to get out mid-range, chat. Oh. It creates copies of Jace, Cunning Castaway. That's true. I'd have to ask a judge. It's a good thing to look into. Sultai control here. I don't know. So, my takeaways from this league were Disinformation Campaign and Blood Operative both felt kind of okay. And, like, Discovery and Thought Erasure are both, like, very playable Surveil cards. Doom Whisperer is kind of unimpressive. This card just kind of felt mediocre in both this deck and the Esper midrange deck we played before this one. So, I'm not really sure that I would want to play any more of this card this format. There's just so much good removal in every deck, and, like, the fact that even, like, the green and red decks have Collision Colossus makes this card kind of just, like, a huge tempo loss in a lot of positions, and it's also difficult to have enough life to leverage his Surveil consistently in others. Alright.